Okay, let's look at this somewhat more complicated situation of factoring. Okay, so initially this starts off the same way as the previous ones. We're going to do u sub. We're going to say well, let me rewrite it this way. You want to note that or realize that this is the same thing as x to the fourth squared minus 20 x to the fourth plus 64. By the way, if you're like, how do I know that I'm going to use x to the fourth versus maybe x squared or some other version? You usually want to break it down to the middle term. Okay, so that's why I'm using x to the fourth. So I'm saying 4 times what gives me 8. 4 times 2 gives me 8. So that's why I wrote it this way. Okay, from here I do u sub. So I let u equal x to the fourth. And so we have u squared minus 20u plus 64, noting that x to the fourth is being replaced by u. Okay? And so now we're going to break this down. So breaking this down, we say what times what is 64. So we have what? For sure 1 and 64. We also have 2 and 32. We have 4 and 16, and that's what I want because 4 and 16 gives me 20. 4 plus 16 is 20. So this breaks down to u minus 4, u minus 16. And if it's not clear, by the way, all of this is equal to, no, just factoring, never mind. If that's not clear, the reason why we do this, or it breaks down to that, is negative 4 plus negative 16 is negative 20, and negative 4 times negative 16 is 64. So the fancy way of saying that is the sum of these two values, including the sign, has to be this one, and the product of these two values has to be this. So because negative 4 times negative 16 is 64, and negative 4 plus negative 16 is negative 20, I'm good. Okay, so that works. But remember, u is x to the fourth. So what I really have is x to the fourth minus 4 times x to the fourth minus 16. Again, if that's not clear, I'm just substituting back x to the fourth for u. Okay? Now, what can I do with this? Well, remember that x to the fourth minus 4 is an example of the difference of squares. What is the difference of squares? Well, if you can take the square root of this term and this term, then you can rewrite it as that plus or minus. So for example, x to the fourth square root of that is x squared. The square root of 4 is 2. Let me just write it twice. And it's plus and minus. Okay? We do the same thing on the other side. So the square root of x to the fourth is x squared. The square root of 16 is 4. We rewrite it twice. Okay? And again, it's plus or minus. Okay? Now, the next part, you have to be equally as careful because one of these terms, one of these values here, we can apply the difference of squares again. Okay? It's not to the first one. Why? Well, I hope you realize that this is plus, and it's called the difference of squares. So you can only apply what I just showed you if it's subtraction. So you may think you can apply it to the second one, but the problem with the second one is that you can't take the square root of 2. Well, you can take the square root of 2, but it doesn't come out nice. So that's not going to work. Can't do it with the third one because it's a plus, but with the fourth one, you do realize that that square root of 4 is 2. So you can break it down yet again. And so you always have to ask yourself, once you simplify, can I go one step further? Can I break this down a little more? Well, we can apply the difference of squares here as well. Running out of space here. So this is my final answer. Okay. So the moral of the story, the goal in what we're doing with all of these is we're constantly asking ourselves, can I factor some more? And in these more complicated situations, we can always go, obviously, one step further. Okay? So hopefully all of this makes sense, and I'll see you all in the next video.